Hello, good morning, guys. It's currently 8 a.m. I wanted to wake up early and prepare a video because I have some things to do outside. So, how are you? I hope you're doing well. I'm still a bit sleepy. I actually like waking up early, but it's hard to fully wake up. I stretched a little and drank a glass of water. These are simple things to help you feel more awake. I recommend trying them every morning. It's really helpful. I haven't had breakfast yet, but I don't feel hungry. Alright, let's go to our topic, how I improved my English skills. First of all, I want to say this no matter what. The key point is doing it every single day. In other words, studying 5 hours one day and not studying at all the next day is not even an option. If you seriously want to learn, I suggest making it a routine. At least that's how I learned. Let me introduce myself first, in case some of you don't know me, maybe. My name is Ela. I'm 20 years old. I graduated from Civil Aviation Cabin Services. My program wasn't in English. In Turkey, this is a 2 year program, by the way, if you don't know. After finishing it, I realized I liked being a cabin crew member, so I decided to continue in this field. Okay, today I'll tell you how I improved my English, the mistakes I made, and the study routine that worked for me. I'll also share some resources if I can find them. I'll leave the PDF or the links to the resources in the comments. Let's begin. First, you can set yourself a goal. For example, I want to become a flight attendant. That's why I need to learn English. It's a necessity for me. But of course, I make it enjoyable so I can learn without getting bored or feeling pressured. Let's say you don't have a goal and you just want to learn for fun. You still need to make it part of your routine. If you say, today I'll watch 1 hour of a TV series and that's enough, then this isn't really serious learning. I'm saying this as someone who has tested it. If you don't want to study in a disciplined way, then yes, you can learn to a certain extent by only watching series. Watching just half an hour a day will give you some knowledge, but not enough. So, what did I do? At first, I also struggled. I kept asking myself, how should I learn? How much should I study? Is this the right study method? But the important thing is simply to keep studying. First, I found something called the Oxford Word List. Maybe you've heard of it. If you search on Google, you can find it. It has separate word lists for each level. I downloaded these lists, but I didn't just translate the words into my own language and study them. I looked at the English definition and made an English example sentence for each word. In the beginning, it was really hard because I tried without translating into my native language. Of course, you can translate if you want, but you also need to learn a word in a sentence. That way, it sticks better in your mind. I studied at least, so it depends actually, like 10 or 15 words a day, like this. And later I increased it to 30 words because I could memorize easily. I didn't just look at the meaning and move on. If I came across a word while watching something or reading a sentence and I didn't understand it, I would first check the English definition, and if I still didn't understand, then the Turkish meaning, and then I would note it down with a simple example sentence. Aside from the Oxford list, there are some vocabulary apps you can find on Play Store. Each one has a different style, but I think I used Wordbit, but currently I'm not using. It gives example sentences and has topic based or level based vocabulary. I also studied verbs. I searched for the most common 200 verbs and wrote them down one by one. And try to make sentences with them. Learning verbs is definitely useful. Later, I kept increasing my vocabulary. So that was my vocabulary learning method. If you have questions, you can leave them in the comments. Now let's move on to reading, maybe my favorite part. Okay, so whatever you can find, you can read. I can say choose this or don't choose that. Just read whatever you can in English. You don't have to buy a book, but if you want, also you can. Here's what I did. I searched for a two-level books online and read them. But I didn't just read once and put them away. I would first read silently and write down the words I didn't understand. Then I would read aloud. Always read aloud. Don't just read silently. Reading aloud helps with pronunciation practice. You notice your mistakes, you realize, oh, I don't know how to pronounce this word. So then you check the pronunciation and repeat it a few times. Then I would read the text again, a total of 2 or 3 times. This way you correct all your mistakes and end up reading it in the most accurate way. If you really want to buy books, start with the simple ones, like English children's books. Yes, that's how I started. Later, I asked ChatGPT to write stories at my level. That works too. You don't have to translate into your own language. Just read in English. Now, let's talk about writing. Maybe the part I struggled with the most. Basically, you're expressing everything you know. The simplest way is to keep a daily journal, but not just 3 sentences, write in detail. Like, write everything that comes to your mind and everything you did that day. If writing a diary feels boring, you can write about different topics. Write to an AI, yes, write to it, and let it correct your text. This way, you'll notice your mistakes. You can write by hand or digitally. The important thing is to get the knowledge out of your head. For example, if you read a book, write about it, what you remember, what you thought, or choose a topic like food or work and write about it. Now, grammar. Probably the part most of us, including me, don't like. You need to find a good video source for yourself. Watch grammar topics one by one. Then watch question solving videos on YouTube. And then solve tests on Google. That's the easiest way. Also, you naturally learn grammar while reading. You don't need to study grammar for 1 full hour a day. In the beginning, you can do 2 or 3 topics a day. If you don't understand something, study it until you do. Ask AI to give you example sentences or tests on that topic. It really works. Don't just watch the lesson and move on. That won't help. You need to practice. Now for listening practice. Maybe my absolute favorite. There are endless sources on YouTube. I don't always watch the same channels. Sometimes I discover new videos. You can also listen to podcasts, they're helpful too. But when listening, do it twice. First with English subtitles, then without. There's an extension called Language Reactor where you can watch with dual subtitles. I recommend it. Maybe I'll make a video about this later. The main mistakes people make when listening are not focusing and not repeating the part they didn't understand. If you didn't understand something, listen again until you do. The name says is listening practice, so you have to listen and understand. You can practice with films, series, songs, anything, whatever you want. The important part is listening twice. Everything is learned through repetition. If you listen to something once and never again, you won't remember it. And now, the most important part, Speaking practice. Everything connects to this, and you don't necessarily need a teacher. I practiced with apps by talking to myself and by pausing videos or movies and repeating the lines. This method is called shadowing. You watch a video, the person talks, you pause, and you repeat. Simple as that. Do it for the whole video. Other than that, choose a topic and talk about it. It doesn't have to be perfect, just do your best. You can also record your voice to track your progress and see where you get stuck. I do at least 2 hours of speaking practice every day. Sometimes with an app, sometimes alone, sometimes with videos, whatever you want. But I always try to find my mistakes. We learn by making them. You can also watch conversation videos or talk shows clips on YouTube. Don't limit yourself to one thing. If you get bored, learn weird topics you're interested in. At first, it was really hard. I thought I could never do it because for me it was a necessity and I was studying randomly. I can't tell you exactly how many hours a day you should study, but you should definitely study. I know sometimes there's almost no time left because of work or school, but if you want to achieve this, you have to fit it in somewhere. Here are some extra tips. Describe everything you do. For example, right now I am making a video. Say it in English. Or if you see a video, describe what the person is doing in English. Push yourself if you say something in your native language. Look up the English. If there's an object at home, describe it completely, asking and answering questions about it. Basically, integrate the language into your life. Thank you so much for taking the time to listen to me. I shared my own process and how I learned. Honestly, I still struggle, but I made it enjoyable. I still make mistakes, but I always keep going and add more knowledge to myself every day. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment. Take care of yourself. Good luck with your studies and see you next time. Bye bye.